Hi everybody, welcome back to Sockside 3A. Managing my voice here. Hopefully I feel a little better. I got cough drops, some water. But what we're going to do now, let's just go through some of these tutorials here. I haven't taken a look at them, so we're going to go through them together. See, welcome to Excel. Let's check that out. Let's take a tour. Add numbers like a champ. Okay. D7. So what we're doing here is we're doing some, if you watch the basics video, now basics video meanders a bit, but it's 20 minutes long, covers most of what you need to know for the test, for the quiz. Select this out on the amounts from meets, alt equals. Okay. Alt equals. Yeah, sum if. Okay. So this is going to give it a range. To D15. Okay. Let's see. Greater than 50. So that's a string there. The greater than sign in the 50. I think what's going on there is it has some kind of query language. So it's looking for certain format strings. But that one's easy enough to understand. We're less than 100. Well, we'll go in here and we'll copy this guy. Right. Nope. I'm editing this. So this guy's under G. So first thing we have to do is we're doing the G column now. Oh, like that, see? We are in the spreadsheet here. Because it wants to be less than 100. Oh, there you go. Got the extra credit. Okay, let's take a look at the sum function. Because it's something. Oh, such a bad pun. Such a bad pun. I guess I get another cough drop for it. Okay, let's take a look at this. Yeah. Select these cells in the lower right hand corner, look for this. Alright, let's find out. Lower right hand corner of the Excel window. Ah, right there. See that? Sum 170. And then what's this? Okay. You can find the total that way quickly without having to actually compute it. This is talking about how to use these a particular cell or a range of cells. So you're using, in this case, they're separated by commas as individual cells. But if you have two separated by a colon, it's actually considered to be a range, right? We've talked about that before. See, some of the following. And in 100, I guess that's an additional operand. Okay. Let's take a look at this important detail. Double click this cell. Multiple numbers of formula. We don't recommend it as absolutely necessary. It's known as a constant. Okay. I recommend that too. What you should do when you want to have a constant like this is to put that somewhere else. Like, we'll put it over here. Not quite there. We'll put it right there, right? Then what we'll say is, where is this guy located? Looks like it's in column C, and it's at 55, C55. So what we'll do is we'll come in here and we'll say C55. You get the same number. It's just instead of putting 100 in the actual formula, you put 100 somewhere. We can give it a label, constant 1, right? So that we know what we're going to use it for. But look at what this gets us. Suppose we want to change this. Maybe this constant represents something that we have control over. It might be different in different circumstances. So I might want to say, okay, well, this data is with a different constant. So then what you can do is you can change the constant, and your formulas that depend on that constant will be automatically updated. And you can have multiple formulas depending on one constant. A very common one might be time, right? So the formulas may put out different results depending on time. And everything's going to take time as an input. And you could change the time for everything to be calculated instantly if everything referred to time in one location, like this. And then you could toggle it explicitly without having to go into each individual function that has a constant and changing the constant there. It's just a little programming technique, what you want to do as an engineer is you want to economize on the future needs to make changes, but not overly much. Okay, so let's move on down. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, so here it's saying, if you recall, we use that less than. You could also do less than or equals, and also anything but, which is both angle brackets. You can look up more information about these functions on the web, but look, the next step. I believe if you look down at the bottom of this sheet, you see number 1, we're at adding. This is the sum function, all right? But I believe we're going to go through all of these right here. So let's go to the next one. Let's check out fill. Filling cells automatically. All right. We're going to click the cell with the number 100. Rest your cursor until it becomes a cross. All right, let's do that. Oh, what's that? That looks like a cross. Click the cross and drag down 3 cells. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And let go. Oh, look at that. That's filling down. How about that? Let's do it again over here. Magnificent. I really like these tutorials. They're done right inside of the editor. They're just fantastic. I think I'm just going to go through all these. You guys can watch me do it. Okay, let's see. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go across too. Boop, boop, boop. There we are. Okay, use the fill handle to copy cells. Okay. Excellent. Here we go. How about that? In each of those cases, I just clicked on this cell and hovered over the lower right hand corner until I got a solid cross. That's when I was able to drag where I wanted to fill in the row. Damn, look at that. It can fill in months. Ah, automatic. That time I didn't double click. I mean, excuse me, that time I double clicked, like it says in the instructions right here, rather than dragged. Very interesting. Click that button. Autofill options. Different kinds of fill. That's the autofill options. So it's going to probably do the series initially, but then you can change it. It looks like it can infer sequences that have intervals. So here wants to change it to Monday or Tuesday. Let's try like something like that. Monday. What happens then? Wow, check that out. Really great. Okay. Looks like we had some good experimenting here with fill. I learned something. I hope you guys have too. All right, let's move on to the next step, splitting. Uh-oh. What's in here? That is stuffed into one column. Split it. Okay. In the cells under first name, type the first names that are in the email column. Very clever. Let's see if I can get it to autofill here. Not quite. Copy cells. Flash fill. I like this pattern detection. Excel always been very smart about what you're intending to put things where in order to simplify and speed up your entries, your data munging. Okay, let's split based on delimiters. Now, in my first video, you will recall that I talked about comma separated values, CSV files, which is often a data format you might get from software, collecting some kind of raw data. It's just a text file. It would just be one row will be a data item, and it'll just have components, which you can view as columns in the context of a worksheet in Excel. And each columns can be separated from the next by commas. It'd be comma separated values. So the rows will be the item data items, and the columns you can think of as attributes of each data item. Might be missing data, in which case there'll just be two commas because there's nothing in between. That data item, that variable is missing for that particular data item row. Okay. Let's see a split a column based on delimiters. So the delimiters here is definitely going to be, and you want to just drag down. So we got all these cells, right? On the data tab, next click text to columns. What's this? Text to columns. Do you see anything like that? Here we are. Text to columns. And just do comma, just like it says, under delimiters. So the delimiters are how the data is going to be split. Okay. It wants us to change the destination here. We can do that. Looks like column D, row 32. We can see here column D, row 32. And it split these rows by their columns and used it, each element of each row for a different column. Now, if you're doing data processing in kind of Python or other kinds of software programming language like that, you're going to end up doing this a lot. And you'll be very familiar with functions like split, which is also a Perl function. But that's computer science from a different era. Let's keep going. All right, let's take a look at a column with formulas. How are we doing on time? Just making sure I'm not recording too long. 17 minutes? Okay. I'm doing these in 20-minute sections, hopefully. Okay, so let's see how we split down here. Split a column with formulas. Okay, so it's telling you here this function. Double click the yellow cell with Yvonne. And it's showing us the function there. It's also gets put up here, the function editor. It's also highlighted here. It'll cover up the text in these other boxes, but it's only temporary, just so you can see what's in there. The shadow beneath it tells you a little bit more about its parameters. Okay, left C56. 56, the left. Use the find. Let's see. In this cell, okay, so it's going to grab all the way. $56, let's see. Okay, and it just grabs the first one. Okay. Francis McKay, let's see. Now in this one we're going right, C56, the length of C56 minus the location of the first blank. Right, so it's going to find the location, it's going to take the length minus that, it's going to give us the remaining length. And it's going to take those many characters from the right end. So it's going to start here and it's going to grab that many characters right there. And that's how it computes what goes in this helper column. Okay, that's kind of complicated, but that was good because what I liked how this talks about using right and left, because in how it's measuring, right? So length is a function that returns the length of, you know, what? Well, what's in C56? We can look over here. 56 C is going to be this person's name. So the length of that minus the location of the first blank. First blank is going to be after Yvonne. So what we're doing is we're taking the total length and we're subtracting this part of it. It leaves us the length of this part. And we're coming at that from the right. Starting at the right end, we're going to take the length of this and take it to the right. So we're grabbing the last part, and that's why we have a that's why we get this string here. You have to excuse my throat. I'm sick right now, and but soon I will feel a lot better. Okay, so I think we did really good there. We covered 3 tutorials, and we'll pick it up a little bit more tutorial, a little bit. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon.